Hi, everybody. Hey, everybody. I hope everybody is having a good day. I'm having a good day. I've got things done today. Something I don't feel like I say enough because I am clearly Mr. Go, go, go. So that's okay. No moment that. Getting stuff done. All right, I got a little thing for you here. Fill in the blank. I have a great one-page idea for you, Christopher. It is. What is it? Isn't that a fun way to ask? I got mail off today. That was exciting news. And I sat down and I started looking at this. I'm not, bear with me. This is today's page, and I'll get into that in a second. And I got the original for it right there. But I just realized as I'm flipping through some of these last so many pages, you'll see this one on the weekend. I'm really active. You'll see that on the weekend. I'm really actively trying different things with each one of these. But I realize that when I sit down and I show them all together, it looks a little crazy. So, but, fun in the sun. Just try different things. That's the whole point, right? But yeah, this is the original for today's page. The finish for today's page is just a change. Very little. Just put borders on panels and a little bit of blue. But other than that, it's just, I didn't even change where the layout of anything is on the page. That's all still the same. I just put borders and some little pinches of blue. So happy. Happy it's worked out pretty well. I'm pleased with that. What am I missing? Oh, hi, Dee Dee. Anything that has to do with Corbin. I have an idea. It is anything that has to do with Corbin. Corbin went to the vet today, and which is always a harrowing experience for animals. And my boy was good. He was good, but Corbin has a cavity. So my boy's going to go to the vet dentist. Very exciting stuff. I don't think he finds it, the prospect of it, that exciting. But, switching their diet up and all kinds of things. So, did you know cats can get cavities? So, yeah. Yesterday's page that I drew was on a piece of regular bond paper. Here's some fun in the sun for those that might not know. So, bond paper, I don't know. Let's see if this comes up. No, it doesn't work. Hold on. Switching cameras. All right, if I go to the overhead. Now, bond paper, you can see how whipsy, translucent, and malleable it is. And this is the cardstock that I use. Just from the sound alone. Okay. This is a great stream, Chris. Sometimes, I don't know, there's different ways that we can try to illustrate to people different types of paper, and so the different ways that you're able to work them. The paper that I used yesterday for the Just Go With It page is, because it's so flimsy, because it's just your standard typewriter paper, basically what we used to call it. I don't know what the hell they call it now, but blank paper. Printer paper. What kind of reality do I live in? So because that's so flimsy, you can't work it in the same way as you can a cardstock. However, you can manipulate it in a great deal more ways that you can't with cardstock. And what I mean by that is you can do all kinds of stuff to really play with how that paper, you can do layers with it. You can crumple it and unfold it and put it on top of something and embed that into an image. There's just so much stuff that can be done with a sheet of paper like that, as opposed to a heavyweight cardstock, because of its lack of malleability. But I digress. I was going to do some different things today. A little bit of monkeying around. I've got some things I want to try. I had an idea initially I wanted to try something to see how this works. It's not slap and drag, which is something that TD showed me, but it is sort of similar. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for getting involved in yesterday's talk. It was really nice. When you come to these reevaluative processes for yourself about where you're at and where your growth is and where your self-evaluation is about what it is that you're doing, it's nice to know that the people around you have similar thoughts on that. And it was also nice that we all have the same sort of not just thoughts, but ethics or psychology on it, because I don't think any of the people that we're all engaging with one another here, I don't think anybody is on the whole, I need growth, I demand attention. I don't think that's what this is. So I really appreciate that, and I appreciate the involvement and the engagement. To business. Okay, so this is today's page. Just go with it. This is fun. This is ink and fountain pen and a green pencil is on paper. And then I did the blue manipulation at the end digitally. And then, of course, yesterday's page drawn in a pencil, scanned, and all the coloring was done in Photoshop. And so with that coloring, I count the gradations, the Day-Glo dots, the things like that. I count that as coloring. I don't know, a fix. But this was fun. This was a lot of fun. The jockey is it's very counterintuitive. And the reason I wanted to go back to this page is that I try to do each page different each day. But this page, when it was suggested, the suggestion for this page is backwards. Because in Western comics, because we want to read from left to right, the initial suggestion is that the action goes to the left. And so that's manga. That's Asian format, where they're basically the opposite in their storytelling as we are. They start in the top right corner and move their way down and move their way down. And we start at the top left corner and move our way down and move our way down. So that's all I mean by how they're backwards. So to do action to the left is like manga. So the whole point of this page was trying to figure out how to do the action to the left on one level. But on another level, all the undulating lines through the horse and through the jockey and through the saddle and to the guy who's falling off the horse, the jockey again, in that top area, those undulating lines are move your eye to the right. In theory, because of the way that the neck moves into the body, moves into the legs kicking out. So hopefully it's breaking the rule without breaking the rule. But I'm trying to approach it in such a way, because it's such a challenge. That's a really challenging suggestion. And so trying to approach it in such a way to convey what the suggestion is, but at the same time, try to adhere somewhat to the perspective and rules that we have in Western comics. So I really appreciated that suggestion. I think it came from Chris. I think it was Chris Kalui suggested that. So, and the silly Italian-esque accents. Yeah, that's all me. It's yeah. So yeah, that was fun. I wanted to try something. It's sort of like similar to slap and drag, but not, right? I wanted to see what happens when you put ink on one piece of paper and then drag it on another. So I'm going to switch cameras again, because I just did the first one without. So here's the first one. And so because there's still ink on here, but it's it's just running the dabber, the dot thing in your ink, just running across. So it's not use a lot of ink. But what it's giving us is two different surfaces to work on. It doesn't work the same way. It's not as fluid. It's by no means. I still say this slap and drag setup is far more advantageous. But I wanted to just try and see what this does for us, and trying different ways of hitting it, and just to make a quick mess. I like making messes. If there's one thing that we know for sure, is that I'm a very messy young man. Part of that is true. All right, so yeah, good fun in the sun. But it just gives some different base effects to work on. So, just trying stuff out. What is so a great one-page idea is anything that has to do with Corbin. I'm going to write that down in the book. I like that a lot. So my cats don't do well with vet visits. They're pretty homebodied. So, but he was calm after a minute. My other cat, Baby, not so much. We have to sedate her to take her to the vet. It's her annual checkup. We need some sedation, please. She's it's all about you know what diametric opposition is. Whoever might be viewing this, diametric opposition is when something is the opposite of the something nearby it. So the diametric, these things are almost diametrically opposed when you look at the fact that I'm the size I am, and I have this cute little kitten, little petite cat. I'm a big softy dodo, and she's hell on wheels. So, it's amazing how different things can be. And yet at the same time, I call her Baby, right? She's a little baby. She's not a baby. Be careful. Wash your hands. So, anyway, so here's some fun pages to do some stuff on. So that's the sort of thing I wanted to try out. It's not slap and drag. It's nowhere near as effective. I'm going to be 100% honest with that. But it does give some interesting stuff to work with. This is basically what I had done under in the backgrounds of the images yesterday. So this is basically doing it in advance of any composition going down on it. Now, I did this when I learned to slap and drag recently, and I just haven't pulled out the plastic to do it. But when I learned that, I did a lot of it so that I could do what was it? I think it was simple pencil and ink drawings on top. And we're going to do a bit of that jazz today. I haven't picked out a one page yet, so we'll get to that in a second. It is, to the best of my knowledge, Friday. And you know what that means. Yesterday was Thursday. Yeah, so it's the weekend. Here comes the weekend, folks. So I've got pages already ready to go to show this weekend. One of them is very pithy. One of them is very goofy. And I hope that people are ready for them, because they're going to blow their hats off. Yeah. One of my kids was interested in if there's a company that does voice work or voiceover work or trans, like when people are adapting materials or anything like that in the city of London. And I looked into the company that I know that did that, and it turns out they're turning all their voiceover work to AI, which is I initially didn't think about that affecting a field of creativity there, but that is down too. So one of the things I'm going to do this weekend. What's that, Chris? Glad you asked. So I bought this really nice, flat, long piece of wood when we were in Tirana. And so I cut this guy down, sanded up the edges. So I've got 6 nice little pieces that I'm going to make some nice wood block pieces out of here, little wood block images. But I'm trying to think of generic things that I can utilize on a repetitive basis in my my pages. And so one of the things that I came up with is there is another project that I'm working on. And so what I've cut, and I'm looking for input back on this, by the way. So one of the things I thought about is if I were to put on top of these blocks the images that I'm going to utilize for scene changes, like this is this location, this one's that location. And then so for each of those moments in the course of this story, I would block in this panel. I would block in that image. I don't know if anybody's ever done that. I don't know how viable an idea like that is, but I'm going to try it. So that's my plan for those. So one of them is going to be like a tenement building, and one of them is going to be the police station downtown. So we'll see how that goes, because there's all kinds of different ways we can approach storytelling, and I thought that would be one way to do that. Dee Dee says, did you mean carve them? Yeah, I've got wood carving tools here, just like I've got lino carving tools. Now I've got 2 little pieces of linoleum still as well in that same size, and then I've got 2 larger pieces of linoleum that I was considering how I could utilize those in the same sort of a format. Thank you for your question, Dee Dee. That's good, or for your question there. So the idea is to carve these images into those, and then I can just stamp it each time that transitional change happens in a book. And so because it's repetitive pages and so on and so forth through the project where there's scene changes back and forth, that might work. We'll see. I'm really trying to think it through, because I don't want to just be lockstepped into having to utilize the same image over and over and over again. So there's a part of me that's thinking, what if I cut these in half and then do this sort of static image? And there's it's a top third. This way it's a half. See? So that's why I was going with that size. But it's rather broad, right? Anyways, I'm thinking. Lots of thinking, huh? Dee Dee says you could carve one and digi-alter them from page to page. Okay. Yes. Yes, indeed. Yeah, no, you're definitely right on that, Dee Dee. I had considered that. I considered like color filters and behind like that, but I'm still talking about like the static flat image. As much as you can do small alterations to it or small little manipulations, it's still the static image. But yeah, you're exactly right. That's a great way to approach it. Okay, so this is already dry, says the man rubbing his hand across it. So going through the book, I hope people don't mind my whole going through the book process, because I really don't plan my pages in advance. I really don't. I want to sit down and just get crack-a-lackin'. All right, we got 3 prompts. I haven't done a 3-prompt page in a little bit. Now, next week I will be doing Sushi Submarine Lemur. I think I'll do it next week. Depends on, the mail. So today I've got cartoon character, manta ray, emu. That's a 3-page, and 3 prompts. And let me make sure if I've got any outstanding ones, because I do that. Cartoon character manta ray and emu, by the way, is ridiculous. But there's never going to be a part of me that says, I better change those. I want easier ones because that's the challenge. That's the whole point. Is the challenge. But when I think about it, cartoon character, manta ray, and emu. Now, there's so the first thing I think of when I see manta ray is there's a guy named Matt Verta-Ray, who is the guitar player for the Sadies, rock and roll. They're like a rockabilly group. Dee says your lemur sticker and some other are on the way. Oh, Dee, I'm so excited. I wasn't saying that like to pressure you. I'm very excited about that. So that's going to be technically Dee and I jamming on a page. Is that the sticker? Oh, and some others. Oh, so whatever stickers come across, I'm going to try to fit whatever I can into a one-page comic. That's going to be my old jam on that one. She mailed them a few days ago. I finally figured out some mailing stuff today that it's just at home and away it goes. Finally figured that out. Boy, oh boy, was that challenging. So this is our 3 prompts. But thank you, Dee. That's really nice. There's our 3 prompts from Dee. So that's what I've got to work with today. Cartoon character, Matt Verta-Ray, and an emu. Yep. Okay. What do you do with that? How about space? How about outer space? Let's start with cartoon character manta ray and emu. Well, let's start with drawing the emu and go from there, because some of this pattern here, some of this texture is very spacey. So let's incorporate that. And Dee says, Dee, this is why everybody loves you. Space is always good. I concur. There's this part of me that always goes, how can I incorporate sci-fi into this? So, it's always good to have somebody else around to validate you. Go, space is good. Go with space. Space is good. I'm opening up the tickle trunk. Okay, I picked something up. I got a giggle when I'm in the tickle trunk. That's the rules. These are the rules. All right, so I got my big old primary printer. And we got some schmozzle, a little bit of hearts and pepper in here. Okay, so just taking some of those guys out. I'm still trying to figure out how to use this ruler. Put an astronaut helmet on that bird. Oh, you know where I was going with it. You know I was going to do that. I'm still trying to figure out how to use my eraser sharpener because, as I've told you before, it has this really special case on it to keep the eraser from getting damaged. But it doesn't erase. It doesn't erase. Every time, right? It protects it so well it doesn't erase. I'm going to beat that joke to death. All right. Hi, Chris. Hi, Dee. Hi, everyone. Watching as I prepare my classes for next week, Monday to Thursday. Chris, you have 6 weeks of summer school ahead of you. Everybody, we all salute you. That's very good of you doing summer school. Not everybody. A lot of people do. Never seen one of those erasers. I know, it's a neat contraption, isn't it? My first time too. And on top of that, it comes with an extra one that you can replace this one when it gets used up. But because of this plastic shield, I don't feel like I'm ever gonna be able to use it. Yep, and beat that horse to death. All right, let's get crack-a-lackin' here, Runsman. What are you waiting on? All right, so emu. I got a little picture of Emu on here. Let's go. Let's dance. Now, so in oh my gosh, Chris. 5 more weeks and I am exhausted already. How about this? Every week you go in, change your personality. Like this week, you were Chris. Next week when you come in, dress in, I don't know, summer dresses and act all laissez-faire. Welcome to the class, students. Oh, we're going to have a great time. And then the week after that, be very serious. Clearly, I don't have to teach for 6 weeks because I realize how crazy I sound. All right, so let's do the email, the emu. Still haven't figured out my bifocal glasses yet. Close is good. Far is good. But that in-between space, the distance I am from my drawing board, yeah, everything is just a headache. So I'm already switching it up because I'm a ridiculous person. Didi, we're not helping. Pollyanna 1 week, Goth the next. Oh, my students. Oh, such fun. Everyone take out your workbooks. Let's get going. You've spelled color wrong, Timmy. That's okay. Everybody, let's sing. Yeah, no, I don't know. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to start with our emu, and which is just a silly thing. You know, our 3 words are cartoon character, manta ray, emu. So I'm starting at the end and getting this guy down here. Now I've got a silly little image I showed you a second ago to work from, and so you can. I'm trying to. There's a beautiful thing about. Let me talk about this. There's a beautiful thing about some of the pencil crayon work that I know Chris has been doing, and Didi does beautiful pencil crayon work when she's coloring too. Like Chris has a piece right now, I think it is with a cherubim figure. Is it a cherubim figure? I can't remember specifically what it is right now, but it's a young lady with something over her shoulder, and it's really, really, really nice. I might show them your podcast while they work in class. You're on during my last 2 hours of class. All right, class. For the next 2 hours, we're going to watch somebody else. If you do that, let me know in advance, and I will do my best for behaving myself. And if you want me to do something specific for your class, let me know, and I'll do that, Chris. Just so that, you know. Thanks, Stevie. Yeah, well, let me know. Let me know. Because I will, by all means, work towards whatever it is that you've got planned. So, because I'm going to be here doing it anyways, right? So, yeah, of course, I'd love to help you. So, penciling in, doing some rough pencils on this ridiculous thing. Emus are one of those things that you gotta love them. Huh? You gotta love those birds because they look nuts. They're nutty looking birds. Put me to work. Draw, monkey! I do that throughout the years. That I will go to different classes. I have COVID, by the way, has shut that down. But I would go to different schools and talk in front of their classes about storytelling. Now, here's the problem. So I went to a couple of classes that I was going to somewhat regularly at different schools, and they had smartboards. And so as I was doing the shamil shmazel I normally do, I did it on smartboards. And those 2 classes just used my smartboard presentation instead of having me come in now. So I won't be doing those anymore. Would be nice. Maybe talk to them for 20 minutes about your career or how's life in Canada. I have students who want to move there. Oh, wow, yeah. It's all about the tufts of hair on an emu. Give him antenna hairs from a helmet. Oh, yeah. Oh, you bet. That's good. I like that. It's the for me, it's less about the tufting hair and more about you got to get that squirrely face on him. This look. There's a fantastic film that was done by Down Blue Studio called Attack. No, it's not. It's just called Titan AE. And I watched that with a couple of grandkids recently. And boy, they loved it. They couldn't get over it. But the reason that I referred to it is that film is chock-a-block with anthropomorphized characters. And the theory being that in the future, some discoveries will be made to make animals more human. And I really enjoy that. If you want to see a really fine example of how to go about doing that, check out Titan After Earth. After AE, yeah, After Earth. Yeah, there's good examples of looking at things like that, and there's not such great examples. But yeah, Chris, I would be honored. Let me know when you wanna do that, and I'm completely open to that. So is today a utility day for you as a teacher, or are you you're not in school today? When AI gets a hold of all the DNA, yeah, who knows what we'll see. I think that movie was called Splice, because there were some scary things going on, genetic amorphism, all kinds of things. It says when I remember as a school, I remember a school I worked at years ago had an emu as a pet. Wow, that's exotic. Comparatively exotic to how things roll here, but I don't know how well I don't know that people should necessarily be owning emus in Canada. I don't know how well that they'd fare habitat wise. I'm sure that some of the zoos and stuff could accommodate some of that jazz, but there was a private farm outside of London that was closed down years ago because in these little 12 by 12, 8 by 8 cages, they had lions and tigers here. And they're exterior cages. And these are not animals for Canadian winters. So that was brutal. Janet had an emu running around her lake island for years. Man, you guys got it going on down south. You guys got it. It's far cooler there than it is here. We got our polar bears, and you don't want them running around. No, we don't have polar bears up here. Where I am is deer. Some coyotes, wild dogs, things like that. But mostly birds of prey. Because where I am, the settlers have done a pretty good job at clearing it all out. A lot of cows. But this area of where we are, at one point had regular, it was wolves, it was all kinds of other jazz, but those were all taken out a long time ago. Let me finish my preparation. Today or tomorrow, I'll know for sure. I'm thinking it could be Wednesday at 3 p.m. for you, I guess. 1 p.m. for me here in Mexico. Okay, yeah, I'm down. That sounds like a lot of fun. And we'll have to figure out how we go about doing it. Like, do you want to have a camera up there? Do you want to have just have the way I'm doing it here? Up to you. Let me know. I'm in. The emu was in all the stickers and flyers. That was a real animal there. Oh, okay. It was just like their school logo. But my public school, we were the Princess Elizabeth Panthers. It was a genetic hybrid panther with the queen. And no, but it would have been more interesting. It's funny how people use predatory animals for a lot of sports team mascots, right? Da Bears, da Bruins. These strong animals, these fine examples of, what is it? There's a whole thing about primitivism sort of as this sense of taking animal spirit identification and incorporate it into your societal structure. This is the wolf tribe, the bear tribe. What would we do if that sort of thing had started here in North America? We'd have what, like the moose tribe, the beaver tribe. Not the same. We lived in Alaska for 3 years. There were moose walking all around. They're huge. Yeah, I camped on a moose trail once. Let's talk about how ridiculous that is, right? Because putting your tent on a moose trail is not going to interfere with the way that moose is walking. And so we were moose just literally went clomp directly at the side of the tent. And I looked, and I'm like, what the heck was that? And I look outside as I watch the hind section of a moose walk away. And moose are 7 feet at the shoulder. So, holy, it was just legs and butt. Which is, by the way, the title of my next book. Chris says, I use a projector and screen for them to watch. If they have any questions, they can use the chat. Oh, yeah, that's great. That's great. I'll try to figure out a quick little display or talk about here's what we're chatting about. And maybe in the advance of that, I'll just make sure that whoever's in the stream is realizing we've got corruptible young minds connecting in. So behave thyselves. All right, so this guy's coming together. Uh-oh. Paul, I sent you a message today. I don't know if you got it or not, but hiya, Paul. Hi, Pandas. Madonna played a character called Breathless. Paul plays a similar character in films, but he's called Pandas. I'm trying Emmanuel Todd Lopez. What? Is this what he looks like? If I got the right, what kind of color of eye tint does he wear? Eye tint. Clearly, I don't know anything about makeup. So it's fun when the sort of the spatter pattern that we've already put down on the page. It's fun when that sort of is incorporated in. That's the sort of stuff that's the reason I do it. That's the reason why I get all sloppy and silly like that. So I'm going to put this much of the neck on the bird. Now, emu have a much longer neck. I'm fully aware of that. But I want to put a collar here, right? So that we can get a stencil. So that we can put a helmet on this bird. That's fun. That's a lot of fun. All right. So this is us putting a space helmet on an emu. It's not here, folks. All right, so there we've got the collar. Put you over there. Where am I missing? I'm so sorry. I've got a whole bunch of stuff I'm missing here. Hey, it's Kat. Hi, Kat. Hi, boys and girls, and Corbin. Corbin is sleeping. Corbin has had a very action-packed morning of going to see his doctor and is having a rest. He got his shots and make him sleepy. They have orange eyes. Ooh. I'll have to incorporate that. Chris says, no problem. I just want them to have the experience of interacting with native speakers of English. They're high intermediate, so they'll be fine. Okay. Well, I'll still use, I won't use over-extrapolated vernacular then. I use far more comprehensive English. Hi, CP. Hi. Emu lost in space. Didi says that's looking good. Good afternoon. Hi. All right. So with the idea on that first page is that I want to establish in this first panel a sort of identifiable differentiation from the norm. And so by putting him in the spacesuit right off the hop, it changes our whole context. So as soon as you have established somebody in a space helmet, you know that they're not hanging out down the street, right? The Skeksis characters in the Dark Crystal are there's partial basis on emus for those characters. If you're familiar with the Dark Crystal, they're the tall, skinny viziers and so forth at the court. Those ones that are always making no sound. So Gary Hodges is joining us. Hiya, Gary. How you doing? Con recovery. Oh, yeah. Giving his con this weekend. Okay, so well, I can imagine that it takes a little bit to get back in the swing of things. I just do a con here in London. I don't go to other cons. I was going to do the TCAF this year in Toronto. Yeah, no. I figured when they said, "Hey, we're just going through the list, but you're on the second list," that meant it ain't happening. So I went and planned on with my month, and which means that I'm not going to TCAF because then they're like, "Okay, now's your chance to come in." It's like you want a person a budget to go to another city for a week for with 3 weeks notice. They'll be surprised that's not happening. So Gary's almost back at 100%. Uh-oh. All right. So the idea for this page is 3-word prompt, manta, ray, emu, and a cartoon character. So that's kind of fun. I'm looking forward to some of the information we're going to put together for that. I'm going to pull... Let's see if I can get use my brush a little bit. I took my cap off here. I leave the cap on. I don't know if other people do this, but with this thing, I find that leaving the cap on doesn't get, I don't want the trigger pushed out accidentally. So this was my last running joke, by the way, of I don't know how to make this work. But I still find that the ink that comes out of this is not very thick, not very heavy. So I would not recommend these over regular Postgres unless you're looking for the softer brushed in values. So I still think we need to defer to this guy. Uh-oh. Diddy has another idea. Oh, Lord. Oh, my gosh. There's a bunch of con artists here, so I couldn't resist. That's good. Yeah, even Paul agrees with that one. Okay, I have another idea. The emu has a ray gun that shoots out mantas. Ginny, are you living inside my head? That was exactly what I was going to do. Ray. It's a ray. It's space. How could it be anything else than a ray gun? Okay. I was actually not going to have it be a ray gun shooting out mantas. I was actually going to have him squeeze a manta ray and have lasers come out of it. But I like yours too. That's, oh my goodness. So good. That's such a fun idea. It's a ray gun. That or I was going to have him put headphones on somebody and pretend to be Darth Vader. Okay, so there's the start of our emu. And I do like the idea of hitting the eyes so that they jump out a little bit with the orange. That to me is a lot of fun. So let's do it. Either one works. We can't help but reinvent. Yeah, that's the whole point of these things is that is to just take that ebb and flow and just move with the improvisation. I gotta put some white down for that orange to sit on. So we'll put this down for a moment and let it dry. And we'll get some orange on that in a second. And I think I might do a couple of the belts of orange in and around. Okay, so we've got our neck put in here. I'm going to push that line a little bit. And there we go. So I tend not to connect lines all the way. I want to use this as an emphasis point more so than just a solid outline all the way around. I don't know if other people do that, but I tend to do things a little bit different. Kat says, why does his clipboard say right? I have another clipboard that says left. This one also has positive, and the other one has negative. Why is that, Chris? I really don't know. Stickers, Yeah, I've got my left one is over here. And where's the negative sticker? It's on here somewhere. This one's also got, here's some more fun stickers. There's men. Greetings from the limitless universe. What movie is that from? Bonus points for you if you get it. And a $15 price tag. Stickers are fun. And what's the meaning behind those stickers? Oh, boy. If you find one, let me know. This has a warning. It says, do not use while standing. Use only when sitting. Standing on the unit may cause serious injury. Do not pick up by the pedals. Only pick up by the handle. Yeah. One of these clipboards I picked up when I was in the hospital for... I can't remember what that surgery was called, but yeah, I do some ridiculous things. So, all right, let's put that orange in there before I move on. Come on, buddy, hop up there. Join your friends. There we go. Okay. All right, so we got our emu in here. I want to try something for a second, so bear with me. Because I want him to be sitting. In the next panel, I'm going to draw his body sitting down in an emu spacesuit. And what my initial thought was an emu. And my first thought was this. It was an emu and a manta ray on a space station watching cartoons. That was my first thought. And then my second thought was, an emu on a space station, but it's like a space emu. And there's a whole bunch of astronauts with their hands up. And then the emu is, of course, pointing a manta ray space gun at them. That was my second thought. And then Didi had a great idea that of a space gun that shoots mantas out of it. Just so great. What'd be fun about that is that if you just draw the laser blasts as mantas, no explanation, but just the silhouettes of manta rays as they're across the room. And then you could go in Photoshop or whatever other device that you use and light those up, like light those blasts up so that they look like they're clearly illuminated. Laser light there, and never explain it. But the right person that looks at it and goes, "Are those mantas?" And then goes, "Manta ray," right? Like that's. So, Didi, I love your suggestion, and we're going to incorporate that in. I am completely fine, by the way, while we're doing stuff, if people say, "Oh, try this," hey, how about you make them like that? That's a lot of fun. Rachel had a fun line while she was on here the other day about the horse riding backwards, and she had said that well, it has to win. Clearly, it has to be in the lead, and so I needed to incorporate, where the horse was in a race, and where is he in a race? Because my initial thought, by the way, with that was horse jumping, but because she said it's in a race and he's going to win it, I had to incorporate the whole story structure of the guy riding backwards on his horse is in a horse race. And at the end of it, of course, he's toppled off of the horse into the ground. And the guy says, that's going to make it really hard to finish the race. The characters are very, I tried to make them very cliche Italian accents, based on my friend Sal's dad, that I remember how he used to talk. Salvatore, what's wrong with these? He's so great. Sent you a picture of Instagram of my manta and face. Can I pull that up? Hold on, let's see. Here we go. This is Dee Dee's pictures that she just sent. That's so great. See, so there's the silhouette shape, right? That would work perfect for putting together the laser blast. So yeah, I'm definitely going to incorporate that in. I really like that a lot. And those are the sort of fun ideas that we all come up with together. There's a real blessing to that, in my mind, that the whole idea of working with others and having that sort of openness to the fluidity of the different steps. Like, I'm stepping this way. This is my directional path. And somebody goes, what about this? You go, ha ha! In real life, you never get where you're going. But in a project like doing something like this, the openness to that really does make it a lot more fun. Oh, yeah, that's... No, I pulled it up now. That's fantastic. It really is. We're going to stick this in. But yeah, the little face at the end that she's got. Let me see if I can pull that out. That's so good. That's so good. Oh, yeah. Excellent. Thank you, Dee Dee. I'm now finally figuring out how to incorporate such a simple thing I couldn't before for the life of me figure out. How do I show what somebody else is doing or what they just posted today? And then it dawned on me on Wednesday, Dee Dee just looks at her phone. Right? Like, she's just looking at my phone and she'll pull up whatever it is that she's referring to, or whoever it is that she's referring to. It dawned on me on Wednesday. I've been watching Dee Dee stream for months. Naturally blonde. Okay. Their little faces look at that. Yeah. Excellent. You have to be able to be quick on a draw like you. To do that live. Well, live, it depends on, again, the polish you're looking for, right? Like, I think that in idea generation, it doesn't have to be a finished thing, but just to be open to the idea of new thoughts and new approaches and new notions coming in a program, in a session. When you're sitting down with others and trying to put together some ways to approach a story or to approach a a project, that's really easy to do. And if doing it sort of the way I do it with the finished page stuff is, I'm crazy. So isn't that right, Bill? That's right, Larry. It's not Larry. You're able to do that. Well, yeah, in that capacity. Just the idea of a manta and an emu together is fun. Yeah, when I was talking about the two of them in space, the first thought was them playing cards, so as they're watching cartoons. So I can think them up quick. You can't draw them as fast. Yeah, but that's the thinking up stuff, and even if you get like a rough manta shape, and then the manta's coming out of guns, right? As opposed to actually physically trying to draw the finished thing. I think you could very, and you're very capable of that. There's a real openness to that capability for a lot. So I've got this down. What color are you? Well, let me show you first. Oh, you're too dark. I will try. So I still like the pen texture in there. And I'm not filling the whole thing in solidly, just because that's kind of part of the fun. There we come with old trusty Magoo over here. So there's our first panel coming together. It's a fun start. And today's music, by the way, is Radiohead's The King of Limbs. Give it a try. It's kind of nice. Very different, though. I cover the top of the page with my hand this way. Sometimes I'll do it this way, and I apologize that it cuts the view for a moment. The reason I do that is so I don't cover everything around me in white paint or white ink or whatever it is or whatever colored ink or paint that I'm using. And that works half and half, but it definitely makes me look like I've got some sort of spotted disease. Okay. Yeah, Kat says, you draw very quickly, Dee Dee, while following a speedy chat. Oh, yeah, that's for sure. The amount that the scroll works on her chat is, I don't know how. Dee Dee has to have people say things to her specifically in caps, and that's really the only way that I think anybody could follow that. But my gosh, I draw better alone, but thanks. Yeah, you're incredibly productive. And when here's my sketchbook, why didn't she do that? Right? Gary says, I love this drawing. Oh, I'm glad, Gary. I fling my bucket of stars all over the table. We'll put some stars on that. We'll put some stars over here. Yeah, if I had a larger working environment, I would be less precious. Easily less precious. So, okay. Yeah, and then because some of them didn't go exactly where I wanted to, I'm going to fill in a couple of little spots. All right, here we go. So, okay, so I'm happy there's our emu character. So the next panel has to, where are you? Looking, this is me sorting, how can I show this? This is my pile of pens and stuff that's just sitting beside me. So this is me going sorting through them. That's what those dynamic actions that make no sense are. And let's come in on the next panel. So how do we want to do? Let's take a vote. Let's take a consensus here. It is awesome, Carrie. Love this. Oh, thanks. Thank you both. Okay, so where do we want to go? We've got, with the ideas that have been presented, some of those notions about, how do we go about doing this? I can do the next panel where I show, let's say, some astronauts in captivity, or some astronauts on their knees looking up at the space alien that's just kidnapped them at laser point. And and then have this is basically my version of Alien, by the way. And then we can have the alien saying something to him, and they're like, "What does that mean?" And then, with the manta ray gun. That's one direction we can take with this. Another one is an actual emu alien and an actual manta alien watching cartoons. But the idea is that the last panel I'm going to incorporate the cartoon animal, right? Comic Nera there. That little alien from Bugs Bunny. You mean the one that says, "The earth-shattering kaboom"? Where's the earth-shattering? That guy? You've destroyed my laser beam. I love that guy. Marvin the Martian. We got comic character. Yeah, I can do Marvin. We can put him in there. Oh dear. At the end, right? Robert. Welcome aboard, Robert. Robert, that's Robert Vett. Sound it out. Kidnapped with a laser pointer, you say? Yeah, I'm in trouble when people around me have laser pointers because I find myself looking all over the room. Yeah, Marvin. Okay, so we'll go with Marvin. That's the best Porky Pig I've ever heard. All right, so we'll do that. So next shot is going to be, we're going to have some astronauts here on the ground. And we'll have them sitting down in front. And then we'll get, and so as the camera pans over, because I want to move the Martians, this doesn't work. I'm going to do that joke until someone tells me to stop. See, my new eraser, super cool, but there's a shield on the eraser. Looks awesome, but every time I try to use it, it doesn't work. I'm going to do that joke until the end of the video. So, like a cat with a laser? What are you saying? I'm a cat? Yeah, exactly like a cat with a laser. Can't have those in the house for my cats because I get confused. All right, so I've got a couple of the astronauts here that are on the ground, hands in front of them. And again, the whole point of this background information is just to give some sort of additional hey in there. So Kat says, can't he just be having a nice emu day without aliens and lasers? Like just a regular old emu on a spaceship? Maybe. Well, okay. So does anybody want to change that? Let's have a consensus on that because I'm good. Christopher's all about the story. You have to be all about the story. You have to. The whole point of drawing comics is storytelling. And so whatever it is, for whatever narrative that we're looking at, or whatever visual images that we're looking at, we have to establish a structural narrative. It's an important thing. So I'm going to have this guy's hand to the side, give him a more relaxed pose. This astronaut sitting here with the hands folded in front. And if you know what, let's draw the emu as one of the crew. Sorry, I know I'm just taking a real left turn, but I just love the idea of the emu in a spacesuit. It just made me laugh in my head so badly. Oh, woohoo! What am I missing? I just want to see a bunch of manta rays all laid out after being beamed. We'll see. I might take another left turn. There's a good chance I'm going to take another left turn. But come on, how can you not afford yourself an opportunity to draw an emu in a spacesuit? Putting in some tubes. some hoses. What a cat says, but his little emu face does not look emused. Well, he's going like this, right? Isn't that what they do? I do that myself sometimes. Okay, so I'll structure this in a little bit better. Where'd that stencil go? Stencil. Oh, stencil. Let's use this one. His name's Dave. Okay, so tighten your stencil up a little bit here. And then we'll give him a So there's our, where are we? I'm missing a whole bunch of stuff. I'm sorry, guys. If you use Rod Hull with email, it would be meta. What? Captain! Hey, everyone! Hey, look at everybody. It's Jim Lewin. Jim, I sent you a message. Oh, yeah, you know that. We're going to talk. I don't really understand meta. I just wanted to sound cool. Okay, so chess piece, tubes, and then buttons and doodads. There's no fancy rule. Just think Darth Vader breastplate. All right, so it's hard to see as I'm penciling it in. So that's why I'm going to come in right away and start pulling out. Yeah, you're not strong enough at this point. I got to replace you. Okay. So I'm going in here and I'm pulling out some of these areas that I've put some of these lines and ideas together to try to draw his spacesuit a little more clarity so that as an image, it sits inside our image still. It's all still contained in the same stylistic approach as we did the first panel. But for you to be able to see him and understand what's going on in here, we got to do a little bit to draw out some of those shapes. And there's this big space glove. Not too overly detailed. We'll come in a second with the pen and pull out some more lines, but in the interim, we get the big old space legs in there too. And I'll just cut that little line around there for our own understanding. Okay, have I missed stuff? Mr. Jim, we don't need you to read us. We CD value. What? No, sis. We don't need you to read us. We can valid CD validate. Okay. All right. Well, I tend to read. You sound really cool, Robert. I tend to do the reading part because it's a habit now at this point, because for a while there, until I had enough regular views on the streams, the chat never showed up on mine. And so now it does, which is lovely and appreciated. But I'm in that habit now of reading it for anybody that is just listening in, just the lurkers. Just sitting there in the dark, the back of the room. I ain't looking at no pictures. I just want to hear what they're saying. So I've got our two rather comfy scientists and our comfy emu looking at something. They're looking at something. just like the idea of an emu in a spacesuit. I really do. Blink dead reality there, sorry. That's existentially lurking. Waitress, do you have 100 follows? Can I be speaking to you? Let me check. It's the trick of listening as you're in a cafe is that you mix your conversations. Can I get you another drink? Art is fantastic, isn't it? What in the world are you talking about? Okay, you're all right. Jim has a thing where if you don't have 100 followers, he doesn't follow you. That's his thing. He finally came out with the truth about it yesterday. He's a bit of a YouTube snob. If you haven't got 100 people following you, out. Jim has other things to do. So here's our chest piece for this guy. And then we're going to have the tubes coming out. Now, I've got, well, I didn't put a backpack on him, but, you know, we can get to that. So this is the shoulder plates that come out, because you got to have some structure, I would think. See, there's a guy, Sid Mead. I don't know if anybody here knows who Sid Mead is, but Sid Mead had a cool influence on me. Sid Mead designed the visuals for Blade Runner, Alien. He's worked with Ridley Scott a fair amount. He's worked with all kinds of really creative. He did a lot of visuals for Outland. What Sid Mead does as a set designer is that he really thinks about how things work. And so ever since then, my first time having explored Sid Mead's work, that's why you'll hear me talking through, okay, so you need shoulder pads for that. You know, this sort of strange dialogue that goes on in my own head. And it's entirely based on that. It's entirely based on the influence that Sid Mead gave me for how his processes work, for how he designs anything. So if you watch how things are built that are designed by Sid Mead, there's some understanding of functionality that this could possibly work. Let's catch up. $100 check. Kat says, I'm fascinated Christopher's reading us because it means he seamlessly corrects all our typos without any hesitation. That's assumptive language, right? Like if you write, I'll show you right here. See this? What word's that? Can you see it? What word is that? You can look at it in two ways. You're either going to try to fill in an E and say bride, but it could just be misspelled bird, right? It's the same. Like, so when we see language that way, our brain automatically fills it in. And that's something that my brain's kind of good at. So in my case, that's a full-time job. Okay. There you go. I answered your cue in yesterday's comments, Jim. Oh, she did. Please, if you get an opportunity, people, Dee Dee had a really nice response to yesterday's question of the day from yesterday's live stream. So you'll find that on my YouTube page. But yeah, Dee Dee really put some input into that conversation. So that's fantastic. Jim says he'll follow you if you don't have 100 followers. He just can't speak to you. Excuse me. I've never seen anybody type, are you talking to me? Before, like Jim has. Okay, so thinking about, see, I'm doing it again. Thinking about the first panel where I drew the bird having a seam running down the sides of the neck. I'm going to try to incorporate that in here. Just using some dots to try to replicate this staggered lines because it's not as, not as close up. And then we're going to come in with this white and knock out some of the green that's already down on the surface. Leave that part down there. So let me use, this is me sorting through all the junk again. Cut that one down. The Posca. Posca pens. They're not just for breakfast anymore. So our second panel is coming together from, where are we at? 150. So So our second panel is coming together very nicely. I'm pleased with that. So I'm going to do something in a second here, just to push this panel a little bit. You see what I got? I got the studio. Hold on, where's my tickle trunk? Where did I put it? There it is. Out comes the tickle trunk. My favorite box of tools. Here we go. You volunteered. All right. This is in here. Boy, I lost that. Anyways. Okay, so now I've got in my handy dandy tickle trunk, and this is an alcohol base, so it pulls the ballpoint up a little bit, which is, we can use that. So I'm just pulling this. This is called bone white. So this is, I'm drawing again on a piece of bond paper today, like I did yesterday, which is not, I usually work on these cardstocks, but for that, and completely accidental reasons behind it, is that I didn't realize that that's what I started drawing on. Well, that's an interesting thing. The alcohol in the Copic pulls the acrylic. Oh, it smudges it. Whee! That's fun. Okay. We're going to use that effect someplace. All right, so I've put this discolored value in here just to push the background back, and I'll get to it again in a second. Jim says, Dee, I missed it. Now I'm going to have to go on an archaeological search. Yeah, it's just yesterday. It's not that bad. Someone asked him a question. I don't think this is live. I think it's pre-recorded with precognition. It's in the comments. You won't need a shovel. You might need a shovel for all this malarkey. All right. So I'm trying to consider, as I'm doing this, how I could possibly I want to push the boundaries of, here's these guys looking outside, so here's their bird with star field behind it, which is not actually representative of the scene I'm planning. The scene is now these three looking out a window. And, you know, that's where I'm going with things, so bear with me. While I'm doing that, grab a shovel, go through the comments. Yeah, bone white's a good blending thing. That's all bone white is amounted to be for me. So it's supposed to be the color that goes in between bricks on when you draw a brick wall. But we'll see. Okay, so we're going to put our one character here. Give her a little mic to talk through. I'm going to put a drop panel on top of the helmet, and I'll put his because he's turning towards her. Like so, you know, so like Phil Collins. So I found Dee Dee's comment. I am better than all of you, especially you, Jim Lohan. Bow down. So here's our guy. I've tried to draw it in such a way as it looks like he's turning towards her. Right? So we're trying to, you know, Jim says, I really did read your comment. Very well put. I'm happy for you as well. That's super cool, Jim. I like that you do what you enjoy, Didi, regardless of what may draw more views, because your enjoyment and what's making you so inspirational. Yeah, 100% on this one. Indeedly do. It's really compelling that so many people find so much enjoyment and connect to it and speak and get together. Like, I really appreciate that here. I really appreciate that you guys are all, it's a comfortable space where people can silly and say what it is they like. And okay, so I'm gonna put the orange inside the mask as well. So just give me a second. Oh, boy's getting serious. He's leaning over the drawing. Did you guys see that? Chris leaned over the drawing. I know. Oh my gosh, what did that mean? I was worried at first. Personally, I was so worried. Well, his back gives out. He can't get back up again. We're going to have another one of those 45-minute videos of him going, oh, God, somebody lift me up here. Anybody know my wife's number? So now I'm going to put in some of these definitive lines that we sort of already pre-established with the structure. Dial on there. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just get the idea across, right? If you don't love what you do, you won't stick with it. That's incredibly true. I mean, you work your day job, and your day job doesn't have to be anything other than what it is. But if you enjoy it enough that you can bear it, good stuff. But you got to find something that you really love. So that's why diets don't work. Fantastic. Thanks, Robert. Yep, Jim says, if someone's an indie creator and they're not enjoying the ride process of what they're doing, they need to re-examine their process. Orange, which came first, the color or the fruit? Yes. You know what? I don't think I've ever really thought about that first. I don't think I've ever really for a moment considered which one was named after the other. Does that say something about me and my lack of consideration of the feelings for oranges? Okay, so I'm putting a second arm in here now, and then I've got the other character to put in here, give some of those details into the chest console with all of their breathing doodads. Yeah. Maybe I should have taken a more 60s, 50s aesthetic where the ladies' spacesuits and the men's spacesuits are very different. Yeah. Oranges are people too. The United States elected one once. You might again. They might again. Just be a whole different location for the presidential speeches. You know, it's a beautiful day here. I'm sitting in my jail cell. It's beautiful in here, okay? All the other inmates are out in the hallway crying because they're afraid that their cells aren't as nice as mine. Great. It'd be awesome. I'll watch those dresses. I'm not even American. Okay, so we've got our two astronauts. A male or female. Just try to give him a little bit more broad, Rex Sterling kind of features. Oh, Rex, it's a beautiful day. That's right, Sally. Because my spacesuit emu and I have conquered this entire region. Whatever you say. So I'm just putting some of the details on the emu spacesuit. So I figured out, put a little doodad on the side here for emu survival suit. Just the idea of trying to put an emu in a spacesuit just sounds like just pure chaos to me, but seems to be working here. And if it works in a drawing, you know it's going to work in real life. Okay, I'm missing stuff. Peter Gabriel. What? Oh, I'm missing a whole bunch of stuff. Jim says, random question of the day, 812. Phil Collins or Peter Gabriel? Oh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Are we talking Genesis? Or are we talking solo? Are we talking whole career? Oh. Gary says, Peter Gabriel, hands down. Both are great, but Gabriel's a genius and wildly diverse and versatile. And he's ambidextrous. No, I don't know if he is or not. I don't know. And Josh Campbell says, Orange, you glad I'm listening from work? Knock, knock, Josh. Knock, knock. It's one of my kids' favorite jokes. I had one of my kids tell me this knock, knock joke, and they literally were like falling over in their chair. They thought it was the greatest thing ever. It's one of those things that every adult looks at and goes, oh, come on, stop it. Josh says Peter Gabriel. Didi says Josh Campbell. Josh Kremble. Joe Kremble. I still read it as Josh. The iPad has a mind of its own. Josh can be called Joan. He's open to that. Joan Kremble. The parallel version, parallel universe of Joshua Campbell. Oh, Robert says, that's tough. Gabriel rocks live. I saw him at Glastonbury. Dang. I was kidnapped by the crowd after watching Rage Against the Machine. You went from a Rage Against the Machine show over to Peter Gabriel? I'm going to respect you more for the rest of my life. Kat says, who is Peter Gabriel? Uh-oh. Peter Gabriel. Peter Gabriel, he's a musician. It's just one of us. He's just I don't want it to shock the monkey, but he's one of those guys that's, you could sort of swing a sledgehammer around and you're never going to find anybody as good as him. I mean, at least that's my perspective from Salisbury Hill. Thank you very much. Okay, so here's our emu suit. It's a sentence 5 times fast. Phil Collins. Joshua says, the song I Don't Give Up Easily, one of the best songs ever written. Which is that? Oh, the song Don't Give Up with Kate Bush. Kat, you need to go and watch some of those vids, watching for the first time. Oh, yeah, definitely. Look up Don't Give Up by Peter Gabriel and Kate Bush. You'll make it dizzy, though. Same stage. I turned around when Rage Against the Machine finished, and 20,000 hippies said I was staying. Oh, there you go. That'll get you every time. The hippies. Yeah. Chris is going with Peter Gabriel here. Younger people watching bands for the first time. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Red Rain, In the Air Tonight. We had a little toss-up between the two. It's that both stand up together. Gary says, anyone who did both, the video for Stand Back and the soundtrack for The Last Temptation of Christ, is a powerhouse. There's something to that for sure. I think that I don't know. I got to go with Gabriel. And the reason I got to go with Gabriel is because I want to be amongst the popular kids. No, the reason I got to go with Gabriel is because, I like a few of Phil Collins' albums, a couple of them. The ones that were really popular when they were first coming out. Is I dialed into like everybody else at the time. But Gabriel stuff goes over decades. whereas Collins stuff is a decade, I would think, and then Genesis, for maybe 2 decades. But Gabriel is a solid chunk of time. So that he's very commanding. He tells every time I listen to him, he tells me to grab my things. He's come to take me home. So just saying. As a Joan, I fully agree. Joan Cremble, ladies and gentlemen, Joan Cremble. All right, got to draw another one. Okay, so this time I'm going to draw our emu. That's the eyes. It's too big. That's too big. That's too big without you. No, that's a different bin. It's not a head. You drew them darn near the same size. Yep. I'm missing stuff. Jim says, I'm going to be the unpopular one to say Phil Collins, especially early Phil Collins. When you say early Phil Collins, are you talking No Jacket Required and what's this other album from that same 5-year block? Are you talking about those, or are you talking about... I think that what can't be understated with Phil Collins is the Tarzan animated movie. That is a pile of genius, because he managed to incorporate one of those boy bands and Rosie O'Donnell into a song and not make me want to punch myself. I Can't Dance. Great song. No, really. No legs. Phil Chandler, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, Phil. You see if you're... Did I miss Phil? If I did, I apologize. Shock the Monkey. Shock the Monkey is an amazing song. In Your Eyes, genius. Absolute genius song. Red Rain. Yeah, I like Red Rain. I think that, without a doubt, my favorite Peter Gabriel song is still the song with Kate Bush. I got a thing for weird... Not all of them, but some of the weird female singers of the 80s and 90s are just like Kate Bush and Bjork. It's like the same time that... around the same time, Sting, my favorite Sting song, is gonna, ruffle feathers probably, but is what is that? There's 2 songs that he did. The Russians Love Their Children too, in that free, set them free, whatever that song was. In the Phil Collins pro column, his daughter Lily Collins. Hubba hubba. I probably know it. It's a project she's been in, but I couldn't tell you. Does she look like her dad? Is she bald? Phil Collins should always be lauded for sacrificing his hairline for his daughter's eyebrows. Oh my gosh. Peter Gabriel has got a new album out this year. He's touring the US soon. Abacab, Jim. Abacab, Robert. Abacab, Dee Dee. Abacab, Chris. Abacab, everybody. I don't want to miss anybody. Who am I missing? Gary, Abacab. Yeah. There's so many names. I love it. I love how many people are having fun here. Philip, are you here? He's not here. Okay, so here's our crazy... Just putting in some of these little human details. Oh man. Filthy humans. What am I missing? Early Phil Collins, Genesis and pre-Tarzan solo. There you go. That's the. See, the Tarzan one is sort of where that was the sort of peak moment with his songwriting. He also did that Road to El Dorado, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was him, or maybe it was Sir Elton John. Hey everybody, I'm Elton John. Look at the John. I always find it interesting when musicians get into doing soundtracks, because some of it's really hit, some of it's kind of, I don't know if you've heard the Dead Man soundtrack by Neil Young. That is a miss. But Johnny Greenwood from Radiohead has been doing some soundtrack work, and it's nuts. It's really good. He's the composer and lead guitarist for Radiohead. Multi-instrumentalist, that guy. Okay. A couple little belts of Stone White. And just coming in again to push this value back. My intention is to put some sketched in details of the ship in behind them here as they're looking out the window. So I'm missing a whole bunch of stuff. Bajork is Radness. The sugar cubes. You are welcome to stay, sir. Yeah, I love me some sugar cubes. If you don't know who the sugar cubes are, listen to Life's Too Good by the Sugar Cubes and hate me later. But it's an Icelandic band where the one lead singer sings, "That girl on the bicycle, she looks so splendid." And then the second singer is Bjork before she went solo. And she's like, "Bicycle!" After she got that bicycle. Yeah, it's so good. Kate Bush, Lady Gaga's original form. Bjork is honestly too much for me to wrap my brain around, like quantum theory. I need to sip her like whiskey. Try her into sugar cubes. It might change your headspace. Like that might be the most bearable. Don't blame her. She's born this way. Oh, come on, baby. I'm a huge fan of Phil Collins' son, Bootsy. Yeah, baby. Sorry. It's because this groove is in the heart. Johnny Greenwood from Radiohead soundtrack for Phantom Thread is outstanding. Yeah. Madonna's Who's That Girl? Best soundtrack ever. Love the emu neck astronaut. Oh, I'm glad. Dude. Okay, so we've got Paul Simon or Simon and Simon. Da, 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 da. No, that's Tom. That's I was thinking of the song for Magnum P.I. I like Phil's self-minded cousin, Phil Collins. Dear Lord, am I turning into Frank? Greenwood soundtracks are amazing. There Will Be Blood and The Master are perfect. They really are incredible soundtracks. I know, right, Dee Dee? The emu's expression is priceless, too. Oh, I'm glad you guys are liking it. Gary Salazar. There we go. Yeah, thanks so much, ladies. That's nice news. Yeah, so I've got the three of them chatting about space. And so the whole idea here is going to be so because we're running up on time. So my idea here is to have the one fella say, sure, it's nice sitting here, Bob, isn't it? What do you think about it, Carl? And then the emu is going to go, and then the view that they're looking outside is in my mind, this is what I've switched to, because I told you a lot of left turns in this head, is going to be space manta rays flying by gently through the skies of outer space, just a bunch of manta ray aliens. And then the last panel is going to be Marvin the Martian sitting beside them saying, I don't see what the big deal is. So that'll be, that's the page. What am I? Bjork, The Pleasure Is All Mine, scariest classic song. You really think so? That's the one? She's got a few. Duran Duran, Talk or Surrender. I'm going to have to step over all those and say, duh. Too dark, Jim, too dark. The Sound of Silence is amazing by Disturbed. Oh, yeah, there you go. If you get a chance, watch. Paul Simon was given some sort of Lifetime Achievement Award this year. And the amount, I saw it while I was at the hotel last week, the amount of performers that came on stage and covered Paul Simon songs, the diversity of them was a little bit terrifying. There was Stevie Wonder with a face completely made out of not Stevie Wonder, and barely looked like Stevie, like so much alteration. And then Dave Matthews, who was born in South Africa, doing crazy South African dances right on stage, which I haven't seen before. So it was impressive. Jim is a huge R. Kelly fan, not so much for his music, more for his life choices. If you really like R. Kelly, there was a really wonderful song that he did on The Chappelle Show. It's a really nice one. Check it out, Jim. Check it out. Dark, Jim. Just dark. Yeah, look up his song that he did on Chappelle. You'll thank me for it later. R. Kelly, Chappelle Show. Play is gonna hate, love is gonna love. I don't really care for any of the above. And then the big kick of the song. So yeah, so that's gonna be, there's gonna be the title section here. The face from the emu, and then I'm gonna draw our space manta rays. So I kind of like when those sort of the pages come together like that in this sort of fashion. I appreciate everybody throwing suggestions along the way. I really do want to use mantas being shot out of a laser gun, but I really want that to be the focus of a thing, and this kind of took a different direction immediately. So Jim's comment will not age well. Oh my God. This is the stuff we can't do next Wednesday. This is Friday fun. This is fantastic. Thanks, guys. All right, just moving that down because the last page that I did when I just went for it on the page in the mixed, I really had very little to do to today's page that I posted, because as I drew it flat like this, and then I went into after I did the scan, it was able to just be altered with some boxes and the text over top. And so a little bit of blue in it. So it's kind of nice because having the page all laid out as is really makes the editing part really a lot shorter, let's be honest. Thank you, Dee Dee. It was very nice of you. Later, Dee Dee. Take care. Have a great day. Jim didn't hear what I said because he was listening to his Bill Cosby album. Hope Corbin does well at the dentist. He'll be fine. He's going to get doped up. But yeah, thanks for. I'll pass it on to him right now. He's snoring. So yeah, it's nice of you. Yeah, I think I'm going to wrap up for today. Listen, this has been a lot of fun. I'm going to kick around at some point this weekend. I think I was, I don't know if it was this weekend, Gary, or next weekend that we talked about. I might be on Gary's stream this weekend, or maybe it will be next. I'm not sure yet, but we'll let you know if it is tomorrow, or if it is Sunday. What day is it? I don't know what day it is today. It's Friday tonight. It's a PA day that I somehow managed to not have my grandkids on. So, yeah, other than that, I might stop in and do a stream in the evening or something like that this weekend. But otherwise, I will definitely be back on Monday at 2 o'clock and with some fun in the sun. In the interim, I'll be posting today's page on Instagram and Facebook tomorrow. I've already got a number of other pages that I was doing while I was in Toronto that I'll be posting on Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Take a look for those. By all means, if people have one-page comic ideas, one-page suggestions, just a ridiculous sentence they think I need to do something with, whatever it is, feel free to put it in the comments for the video or to put them into, hey, I didn't say high cut and paste later, did I? I think I did. Okay. Yeah, I did. Or you can put them in the comments for the video. You can put them in the comments on social media, on Instagram or Facebook, if you want to make any comments on those. That is the same operation works for my social media images that I post on Facebook and Instagram. Feel comfortable to say whatever you like on those and make silly jokes towards the images and stuff like that. I'm 100% on board. In the meantime, I'm going to sign off and get on to doing some things today. Thanks, everybody, for coming out and hanging out. This has been wonderful. Chris says bye. Gotta go. House chores calling. Thank you, Chris. Thanks, Kat. Thanks, Robert. Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Titi. Thanks, Gary. I hope I'm getting everybody. If I'm not, I apologize so much. But thank you, Joshua. Yeah, I think I got us all. Maybe. If I didn't, I'm apologetic about it. So, and again, everybody have a great day. And thank you so much. It's been a lot of fun, as it usually is. If there's recent streams you haven't seen, we're still having fun on those too. So feel free to take a look at those. In the meantime, keep creating. I'd like to see what you're working on. By all means, feel free to share. Bye for now, everybody. Have a great day.